A car accident. Mark was driving to an important business meeting. He was in a hurry since he was running a bit late. That's when he got into a car accident. His car was okay, but the other driver crashed into a tree. Luckily, he wasn't injured. They called the police. When police officers arrived, Mark told them his side of the story. "I was driving fast but carefully. Suddenly, a car pulled out in front of me. I managed to avoid the collision, but this guy hit the tree. When he saw my expensive car, he started to blame me for the entire accident. Because it was your fault, I was driving slowly enough talking to my wife about our next vacation, and then you appeared out of nowhere." The police officers understood who was responsible for the accident. Can you figure it out too? It was the other driver. He was alone in his car. It means he was talking to his wife on the phone, which is illegal. Ooh, very, very bad. Trapped in a pyramid. Justin was an archaeologist who explored ancient pyramids. Once, something went wrong and he got locked in a tiny room deep underground. Justin had got into the room through a narrow passage, which was almost immediately blocked by a rock slide. There was only one other door, and it was locked. To open it, the guy had to solve a riddle and enter the correct 4-digit code. A, G, F, H, V, Z, J, T. What code should Justin enter? Each digit of the code is the number of letters in the alphabet that stand between the letters in the riddle. So the code is 5139. A stolen car. Bennett came to a police station to report someone had stolen his car that had been parked right in front of his house. A police detective asked him how it had happened. "Well, I was repairing a door on the second floor. I was drilling new holes for the lock and listening to my favorite tracks through headphones. Suddenly I heard weird sounds coming from the street. I ran up to the window and saw my car driving away." The police detective knew right away Bennett had made the whole story up. How did he figure it out? If Bennett had been wearing headphones and drilling at that, he wouldn't have heard any noise from outside. A jailbreak. A man is in a jail, and the jail is on an island. The man can't swim, but one day he manages to escape. He uses no boat or anything else that could help him to get to the mainland. There is also no bridge connecting the island with the continent. How did he do it? The man escaped in the winter when the water around the island was frozen. He simply walked away on ice. Locked in. One day, Julia was sunbathing in the park and accidentally fell asleep. She woke up in a strange room with 3 doors. Yes, there's always 3, never 2 or 5. There were some random objects lying around: bricks, empty bottles, ropes, and even a barrel. There was also a note on the wall. Behind one of these doors, there's a staircase that leads to freedom. You don't want to know what's lurking behind the other 2 doors. Julia got really frightened. Luckily, she figured out what to do really fast and got out in no time. What did she do? She dragged the barrel toward each of the doors, climbed on it, and checked whether the staircase was there. Once she spotted it, she was free. Who's guilty? Emma rushed into the house. "I came as soon as I got the news," she exclaimed after noticing a police officer. "Our kids and I were at my parents' house in the countryside. What happened to my husband?" "I'm afraid someone hit Mr. White on the head. He was taken to a hospital, and I've questioned the suspects." The driver said, "Boss sent me to his business partner to get some important documents." The cook was annoyed. "I couldn't leave the kitchen whatsoever. Mr. White gave me just a couple of hours to prepare dinner for the whole family." The maid was upset. I didn't hear anything. I was cleaning the house all day long. In the evening, I was so tired that I went straight to bed." The detective figured out who the culprit was in no time. And you? It was the cook. Mr. White's wife and kids were out of town. There was no need to cook for the whole family. A red car. Stephen was driving to work when he realized he had left a folder with important documents at home. It was about 9 a.m. when he entered his house. At the same moment, he heard glass breaking and saw a man leaving through the back door and running to a red car. Stephen could only see several numbers on its license plate. He called the police and told them everything that had happened. They didn't waste time and went to look for the guy. After searching for 10 minutes, they spotted a similar-looking car near a cafe. When they entered the place, there was only one customer there. One of the police officers came up to them. "Is it your car? Where were you 20 minutes ago?" The customer answered, "Yes, the car's mine, but I've been sitting here for more than an hour." The police officer immediately arrested him. Why? The cafe only opens at 9 a.m. The guy couldn't have spent an hour there. All dry. 5 men were fishing in a boat not far from the shore. A big wave turned the boat over and all the men fell into the water. And still, not a single man got wet. How come? All the men were happily married. You know, not single. Who did it? Maria was getting ready for her date. Everything had to be perfect. But once she decided to take a shower, she found out the bathroom was occupied. It was probably one of her sisters. The girl decided to pick an outfit not to waste time. Soon Maria noticed the bathroom was empty. But as soon as she turned the shower on and started washing her hair, she saw the water was red. It was a prank. Someone had added paint to the shower head. Maria questioned her sisters. Rose said, "I was in my room studying for a math exam." And Ashley explained, "I was in the shower right before you. I even washed my hair, and everything was okay." Maria immediately realized who had played a trick on her. Can you? It was Ashley. Look at her. If she was in the shower just minutes before, why is her hair dry and nicely styled? A fruit market. A man came to a fruit market to sell melons. After he sold half of them and half of a melon, he saw he had one melon left. How many melons did he bring to the market? He came there with 3 melons. Bizarre pricing. Alex entered a hardware store to buy something for his house. He asked the shop assistant, "How much will one cost?" The woman thought and said, $4. "And how much will 15 cost?" "It'll be $8. Confused, Alex said, "And what if I want to buy 333? It would be $12. What was Alex choosing? The man was buying house numbers. No choice. One guy was going to Disneyland. At one point, he arrived at a crossroads. There was a sign there, Blueville right, Disneyland left. The guy stood there for a while and then, terribly upset, he went home. Why? He thought Disneyland had really left. A public library plan. One day, a public library made a strange announcement. Each member could borrow as many books as they wanted and didn't have to return them for the next half a year. Why? The library was moving to a new building, but they didn't have enough money because of bad budgeting. And this way, the borrowers would move most of the books by themselves. That's smart. Colorful houses. An orange house is made out of orange bricks. A yellow house is made out of yellow stones. A blue house is made out of blue logs. What is a greenhouse made of? It's made out of glass, of course. An empty safe. Alan called his friend Milo, a private detective, and asked him to come as soon as possible. When Milo arrived at Alan's office, he saw everything was upside down, with papers all over the place and furniture broken. "I entered my office, saw this, and immediately called you." Alan's voice was trembling. "I hope they haven't stolen the company money and important documents." Alan rushed to his safe with a key in his hand. "It's the only existing key to this safe." He inserted the key in the lock and opened the door. The safe was empty. While Milo was looking around, Alan was thinking aloud, "I have this new guy, Robert. I'm almost sure he's a spy sent by my competitors. He could break into my safe to steal very important documents." Milo turned to his friend. "Why exactly do you want to frame that innocent guy?" How did Milo figure it out? There's only one key to the safe and Alan has it. If the employee had broken into the safe, he wouldn't be able to lock it again.